The alarm screamed through the bridge of the soft breeze. Captain Lyra's 3 eyes watched the console screens as they flashed red warnings. Her thin, insect-like fingers trembled over the controls. The ship was dying around her. "Life support failing," reported her second officer. His voice was high and musical like all. "Engine core completely dead. We have maybe 6 hours of oxygen left." Lyra felt her chest tighten. 200 passengers were on this ship. 200 souls who trusted her to keep them safe. They were researchers, students, families returning home from the colony worlds. None of them deserved to die in the cold darkness of space. "Send the distress beacon," she ordered. "Maximum range, any frequency." The beacon launched into space, carrying a simple message in the common galactic language. "Ship disabled. Life support failing. 200 civilians need immediate rescue." The message repeated over and over, traveling through the void. Lyra looked at the star map. They were in the outer rim, far from major shipping lanes. Few ships came this way. Most species avoided this region. Too dangerous, too empty. The chances of rescue were small. "How long until the nearest station can reach us?" she asked. Her officer checked the calculations. 14 hours, maybe 15. Too long, much too long. Lyra's antennae drooped. On her everything was gentle, the gravity was light. The weather was always mild. There were no predators, no dangers. Her people had evolved in paradise. They were fragile because they never needed to be strong. That fragility would kill them today. Hours passed. The oxygen levels dropped slowly but steadily. The temperature inside the ship began to fall. Lyra ordered everyone to gather in the central areas to conserve heat and air. Parents held their children. The elderly sat quietly, accepting their fate with calm dignity. Then the communication console beeped. "Captain," her officer shouted, "we have a response." Lyra rushed to the console. "From the station." "No, from a ship. It's close. Very close. They say they can reach us in 45 minutes. Hope flared in Lyra's chest. "What kind of ship? Who are they?" The officer studied the readings. His face showed confusion. "It's a cargo vessel. They call it Pride. The captain says his name is. They're carrying mining supplies to the frontier colonies." "What species?" The officer hesitated. "The computer doesn't recognize them. The name in the database says humans, from a planet called Earth. But Captain, these readings are strange." "Strange how?" "Their ship has gravity plating set to extremely high levels. The temperature varies wildly between sections. And there," the officer shook his head, "the computer thinks there's an error. It says they have calcium-based internal structures, high muscle density, and unusual brain activity. These readings don't match any known species profile." Lyra didn't care about strange readings. "Can they help us?" "They say yes. They're changing course now." "Send them our gratitude. Tell them we'll pay any price they ask." The response came back quickly. Captain's voice was deep and rough, speaking the common language with a strange accent. "No payment needed. We're on our way. Hang tight." Hang tight? What did that mean? Lyra didn't understand the phrase, but she understood the tone. It was confident, strong. This captain believed he could save them. The crew of the Soft Breeze waited. The oxygen levels continued to drop. People began to feel dizzy. Some of the youngest children cried, but now there was hope. "Captain," the officer said, "I've been researching this species. Humans, there's very little in the database. Their world is listed as Class 12 Death World." Lyra's antennae stood straight up. "Death World? That's impossible. No intelligent species evolves on death worlds." "The database says it's true. Earth has high gravity, extreme temperatures, dangerous weather, and countless predator species. Humans evolved as. The entry says persistence hunters and tool users. They survived by outlasting their prey." "Predators?" Lyra felt a chill that had nothing to do with the falling temperature. "We called predators for help." They're the only ones who responded, Captain. Lyra looked around at her people. The children, the elderly, the researchers who studied art and philosophy and the gentle sciences. What choice did she have? 45 minutes felt like forever. Finally, sensors detected the approaching ship. It was bigger than expected, heavily built. The hull was thick, designed for impacts and radiation. This was not a ship made for gentle space. "They're hailing us," the officer said. Lyra opened the channel. "This is Captain Lyra of the Soft Breeze. Thank you for responding to our distress call." "Captain of Pride, we're going to dock with your ship and transfer emergency life support. Then we'll start repairs on your systems. How many injured do you have?" "No injured yet, just failing life support." "Good, we'll have you stabilized in an hour. My crew is preparing now. They're excited to meet you. First contact with a new species is always special." First contact. Lyra realized that humans had never met before, and had never met humans. They knew nothing about each other except what databases said. And right now, all Lyra knew was that humans came from a death world. She watched through the view screen as Pride approached. The ship moved with surprising grace for something so large. It positioned itself carefully against the Soft Breeze's docking port, mechanical arms extended, clamps locked into place, the docking seal pressurized. "They're ready to board," the officer reported. Should I send a security team?" Lyra almost laughed. Security? Her people had no weapons, no warriors. What would security do against Death World predators? "No," she said. "Send a greeting party. Protocol for first contact: be polite, be respectful, and be ready for anything." She walked to the airlock herself. She was the captain. If these humans were dangerous, she would face them first. Her legs trembled as she approached. Through the small window in the airlock door, she could see movement on the other side. Shadows, shapes. The airlock door opened. A figure stepped through, tall, very tall, at least twice Lyra's height. The body was thick with muscle built for crushing gravity. The skin was tan and covered in tiny marks and scars. Two eyes stared forward with predator focus. And when the figure smiled in greeting, Lyra saw the teeth. Flat ones for grinding plants, sharp ones for tearing meat, both. This species ate both plants and animals. "Hello," the human said. His voice was even deeper in person. "I'm Captain, don't worry, you're safe now." But looking up at this massive predator from a death world, Lyra wondered if safe was the right word. She had called for help, and the universe had sent her something terrifying. She just hoped she hadn't made a terrible mistake. Captain watched the small alien take 3 steps backward. He had expected some fear. Humans always looked intimidating to species from gentler worlds, but he tried to smile warmly to show he meant no harm. The smile made things worse. The alien's antennae flattened against her head in obvious terror. "I'm sorry," he said, keeping his hands visible and open. "I didn't mean to scare you. I'm here to help." Behind him, his first officer stepped through the airlock. She was smaller than but still tall by galactic standards. She moved with easy confidence, her boots making heavy sounds on the deck. She carried a large equipment case in one hand as if it weighed nothing. More appeared in the corridor. They stared at the humans with wide eyes. Some of them made soft, chirping sounds of distress. "Captain Lyra?" asked, looking at the alien who seemed to be in charge. "Yes," the said. Her voice was thin and musical. "You are Captain." "That's right. This is my first officer. We're going to get your life support running again. Can you show us to your engine room?" Lyra hesitated, could see the conflict on her strange face. She needed their help, but she was afraid. He understood. He kept his voice gentle and his movements slow. "We won't hurt you," he promised. "I give you my word." Something in his tone must have convinced her. Lyra nodded and gestured down the corridor. "This way, but please, move carefully. Our ship is fragile." Made a small sound. Knew what she was thinking. Everything about this vessel was fragile. The walls were thin. The floors felt weak under their boots. The gravity was so light they had to walk carefully to avoid bouncing with each step. They followed Lyra through the ship, pressed against the walls to let them pass, staring at the humans with fear and fascination. Children peeked out from behind their parents. One young reached out to touch hand, then pulled back quickly. "Your people are beautiful," said to Lyra. "We've never seen anyone like you before." Lyra seemed surprised by the compliment. You think so? Of course, look at your colors, those patterns on your shells, amazing." The tension eased slightly, was grateful for diplomatic skills. She always knew what to say. They reached the engine room. The engineer was already there, having come through a different access point. He was deep inside an open panel, his tools spread around him. "It's not as bad as I thought," said without looking up. "The main core is fried, but I can bypass it and get auxiliary power running. Life support should be back online in 30 minutes. 30 minutes? Lyra's antennae perked up with hope. Our engineers said it would take days to repair. Pulled himself out of the panel. He was shorter than but broad across the shoulders. His hands were covered in scars from years of working with dangerous machinery. "Different philosophy," he explained. "Human engineering is built for quick fixes. Things break a lot on Earth, so we learn to patch and adapt fast. Things break often on your world. All the time, storms, earthquakes, equipment failures, we're used to it." Lyra seemed to struggle with this concept. "Your world sounds difficult." "It is," agreed cheerfully. He returned to his work, moving with practiced efficiency. Heard a commotion from the corridor. His medic appeared, carrying medical supplies. Several followed her, some looking injured or sick from the oxygen deprivation. "Captain, I need a space to set up a medical station," said. "Some of your people need treatment." "You're a doctor?" Lyra asked. "Medic, I can treat most common problems. Where should I work?" Lyra led them to what looked like a communal area. Immediately began unpacking her equipment. The watched nervously as she set up strange human medical devices. "Who needs help first?" asked. An elderly was pushed forward gently by the others. He was breathing hard, his thin chest heaving. "What's wrong?" asked, her voice soft and kind. "Oxygen deprivation," Lyra explained. "His hearts are weak. He was struggling before the life support failed." "Hearts plural, how many does he have?" "3 like all." His eyebrows rose, but she nodded. "Okay, let me check his vital signs." She placed a scanner against the elderly's chest. Her hands were steady and gentle. Despite her size and obvious strength, she touched him as carefully as handling glass. The old relaxed slightly. "You are very gentle for a predator," he said. Predator looked confused, then understanding crossed her face. "Oh, you mean because humans eat meat. We also eat plants, we're omnivores. But you have hunting eyes, both looking forward for tracking prey." "Yes," admitted. "Our ancestors were hunters, but we're also healers. We take care of each other. That's what makes us human." She began treating him with oxygen supplementation from her human medical kit. The old's breathing eased within minutes. Other came forward, growing braver. Treated each one with the same careful gentleness. Her powerful hands, which could probably crush their fragile bodies, instead offered only healing. In the engine room, worked in conditions that should have been impossible. Part of the engine compartment had been exposed to space during the malfunction. Radiation levels were high. The temperature was far below freezing. Worked in the exposed section, wearing only a light protective suit. The engineers watched in horror. "He'll die," one of them said. "That radiation level is lethal." Checked her, not for humans. Our species evolved on a planet with higher background radiation. We have better cellular repair mechanisms. This level is uncomfortable for us, but not immediately dangerous. "And the cold?" Humans can function in a wide temperature range. We evolved in many different climates, hot deserts, frozen mountains, everything in between. We adapt. The engineer shook his head in disbelief. Your world made you so strong. Our world was harsh, corrected. It didn't make us strong by choice. Either we adapted or we died. Our ancestors who couldn't handle the stress didn't survive to have children. That's terrible. Maybe, but it made us good at surviving, and good at helping others survive too. True to his word, had life support running again within 30 minutes. Warm air began flowing through the vents. Oxygen levels climbed back to normal. The lights brightened. They cheered. Some of them cried with relief. Children laughed and played in the restored warmth. Parents held each other. Lyra approached. She still seemed nervous around him, but her voice was firm. Thank you, you saved us. You're welcome, but we're not done yet. We need to repair your engines for real, not just patch them. That will take a few hours. A few hours for a complete engine repair. Is very good at his job. I can see that, Lyra paused. Captain, may I ask you something? Of course. Why did you come? You were on your own mission. You're a cargo ship, not a rescue vessel. You owe us nothing. Why risk yourselves for strangers? Considered the question. It was one he'd been asked before by other species. They never seemed to understand the human answer. Because you needed help, he said simply. That's enough reason. But there was danger. You didn't know what situation you were entering. Pirates sometimes use fake distress signals as traps. We knew the risk. Then why? Looked around at the children playing, the elderly resting comfortably, still treating patients, deep in repairs, his crew doing what humans did best, fixing problems and protecting the weak. On Earth there's an old saying, he told Lyra. It says we leave no one behind. When someone calls for help, we answer. That's what humans do. Our world was hard, yes. It made us dangerous, yes. But it also taught us that we survive together or not at all. We learned to protect each other, and now we protect anyone who needs it. Lyra's antennae trembled. You are not what I expected, Captain. When I saw you, I saw a predator, something to fear. You weren't wrong. We can be dangerous when we need to be. But you're also heroes. Smiled, carefully keeping his teeth hidden this time. We're just people who answered a distress call, nothing heroic about it. But looking at the grateful faces of the around them, Lyra thought differently. These terrifying predators from a harsh world had brought life back to her dying ship. They had asked for nothing in return. Perhaps, she thought, the universe had sent exactly the right help after all. Was finishing the final connections in the engine room when the alarm sounded. It was different from the earlier warnings. This was a proximity alert. Something big was approaching fast. Captain's voice came over the communication system. We have a problem. 3 ships just dropped out of faster-than-light travel. They're moving toward us. Was in the medical bay with. He immediately headed for the bridge. What kind of ships? Pirates, I recognize the configuration. It's the Crimson Fleet. Lyra's face went pale. Her antennae dropped flat against her head. The Crimson Fleet, here. You know them? Asked. Everyone knows them. They're the worst pirates in this sector. They kill anyone who resists. Lyra's voice shook. They must have been tracking us. Our ship carries valuable research data. They've been trying to steal it for months. On the bridge of Pride was already at his security station. He was smaller than but moved with the focused grace of a trained fighter. His eyes tracked the approaching pirate vessels on the screen. 3 ships, reported. Looks like 2 light fighters and 1 heavy cruiser. The cruiser has serious weapons. They're hailing us. Put them on screen, ordered. The view screen showed a massive alien with rough, scaled skin. His face was brutal, with scars crossing his features. This was captain of the Crimson Fleet, a warlord known throughout the sector for his cruelty. "Well, well," said his voice like grinding rocks. "What do we have here? A disabled ship and an unknown vessel. This is our lucky day." "This is Captain of Pride. We're conducting a rescue operation. These people are under our protection." Laughed. "Protection? You're a cargo ship. You have no weapons, no military crew, and I have 3 fully armed warships. I suggest you leave now and maybe I'll let you live." "We're not leaving," said calmly. The laughter stopped. Eyes narrowed. "You dare refuse me? Do you know who I am?" "Yes, you're a pirate who attacks helpless civilians, and I'm telling you to leave." Bold words from a dead man. "I'll give you 1 minute to abandon that ship. After that, I destroy you both." The communication cut off. Lyra turned to, her voice desperate. "You should go. Save yourselves. We will surrender. It's what we always do. Maybe we'll spare our lives if we give him the data." "He won't," said flatly. "Pirates like him don't leave witnesses, and we're not leaving you." "But you'll die." "Maybe. How long until gets the Soft Breeze's engines online?" 20 minutes at least," replied. "What are our options?" The security chief studied his console. "Not many. Our hull can take some damage, but not from military-grade weapons. We have standard cargo ship defenses. Nothing that can fight a heavy cruiser." Thought quickly. His cargo ship wasn't a warship, true, but it was a human ship built to survive in dangerous space. And his crew wasn't military, but they were human. They had advantages these pirates didn't understand. "All right," he said. "Here's what we're going to do. Seal our bridge and engine room. Full lockdown. Get to the airlock. Take anyone you need." Smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. Finally, some action. Lyra watched in confusion as crew prepared. "What are you doing? You said you have no weapons." "We don't have ship weapons," corrected. "But we're not planning to fight ship to ship. How many crew members do they usually put on a boarding team?" "For 2 ships, maybe 30 pirates, maybe 40. "And you have how many security personnel?" "3, including me." Lyra's antennae shot up in shock. 3 against 40. That's insane. Checked his equipment calmly. "The pirates don't know what they're dealing with. They've never fought humans before. That's their mistake." The minute passed. Ships moved into attack position. The 2 fighters launched boarding pods toward both ships. The cruiser hung back, weapons aimed and ready. "They're boarding the Soft Breeze," reported, "and they're sending a team to our cargo bay." Pulled on a protective vest. "Stay with keep them safe. Lyra, lock your people in secure areas. Don't let them see what happens next." "Why, what's going to happen?" Met her eyes. His expression was hard. "You wanted to know why humans are dangerous. You're about to find out." The pirate boarding team cut through the cargo bay door of Pride. 30 raiders poured in, armed with energy weapons and blade weapons. They were confident. They had numbers. They had weapons. This would be easy. They found 3 humans waiting for them. Stood in the center of the cargo bay with 2 other security officers. They wore light armor and carried simple tools. Wrenches, metal bars, nothing that looked like real weapons. The pirate leader laughed. "3 of you, this is the defense, kill them quickly." The pirates charged forward. That was their first mistake. Humans evolved as endurance hunters on a high-gravity world. They could run for hours. They could take damage and keep fighting. They could think and adapt mid-combat. And most importantly, humans had spent millions of years learning to kill things that wanted to kill them. Moved fast, faster than the pirates expected. He used the cargo containers as cover and weapons. A heavy crate swung on a crane, smashing 3 pirates aside, rolled under energy fire and came up striking. His metal bar connected with a pirate's weapon, breaking it. His follow-up strike broke the pirate. The other 2 security officers fought with similar efficiency. They used the environment. They used improvised weapons. They used their own bodies as weapons, striking with fists and feet and elbows. The pirates had numbers. but humans had millions of years of evolution as apex predators. On the soft breeze, the situation was similar. Pirates had boarded expecting easy victims. Instead, they found and fought with controlled fury. He protected the civilians with his own body, taking energy blasts on his armor that would have killed them. He grabbed pirates and threw them with strength they couldn't match. His world's crushing gravity had made him powerful beyond their understanding. Fought like an engineer, smart and practical. He jury-rigged electrical traps. He sealed bulkheads, dividing the pirate forces. He used the ship's own systems as weapons, venting atmosphere in sections where only pirates stood. The battle lasted 8 minutes. When it ended, 30 pirates were unconscious or retreating. 3 humans stood victorious, breathing hard but still standing. On ship, the warlord stared at the reports in disbelief. Impossible. 30 warriors defeated by 3. What are these humans? His censor officer looked terrified. Captain, I've been checking their data. Earth is classified as a Class 12 death world. These creatures evolved as alpha predators. They're built for combat. 3 of them can't stop us all. Prepare to board with the full crew. I want 50 raiders on each ship. Kill everyone. But before could launch his attack, something changed. The soft breeze's engines flared to life, had finished his repairs in the middle of the battle. Said over the communicator, "Get us out of here, full speed." Pride's engines roared. The cargo ship pulled the soft breeze with it using emergency tow cables. Both ships accelerated away from the pirates. Ordered pursuit. But cargo ships built by humans were tough and fast. They had to be, to survive Earth's dangerous space industry. The vessels pulled ahead, moving toward the nearest trade lane where help would be available. "Fire on them," shouted, "destroy them." The cruiser's weapons lit up space. Energy bolts slammed into Pride's rear shields. The shields held. Human engineering had built them to take asteroid impacts and solar radiation. Pirate weapons hurt, but they didn't break through. A few more minutes and both ships reached the trade lane. Galactic patrol vessels appeared on sensors, responding to the distress call. Cursed and ordered his fleet to retreat. He couldn't fight the patrol and the humans. On the bridge of Pride relaxed slightly. They had made it. Damage report. Minor hull damage, replied. Shields at 40%, but we're okay. The soft breeze is intact too. Opened a channel to the ship. Captain Lyra, are you all right? Lyra's voice was shaky. We're fine. Your crew saved us again. Captain, I saw the security footage. I saw what your people did. 3 humans defeated 30 armed pirates in close combat. We're trained for dangerous situations, said simply. Your warriors, predators, killers, Lyra paused, and you used all that violence to protect us, to save fragile beings you'd never met before. That's what we do. I understand now, Lyra said softly. Your world made you hard so you could be shields for those who are soft. We called for help, and the universe sent us the only species strong enough to answer. Didn't know what to say to that. He just knew they had saved lives today. That was enough. Behind him was cleaning blood off his armor, was treating minor injuries, was already making a list of repairs needed. His crew, doing what humans did best. Surviving, fighting, protecting. And above all, answering the call when someone needed help. The journey to the nearest station would take 3 days. Both ships traveled together, the soft breeze no longer needing a tow now that had fully repaired its engines. The Inhumans had time to rest, to recover, and to talk. Lyra found herself spending more time aboard Pride. She was still nervous around the humans, but curiosity was stronger than fear now. She wanted to understand these strange beings who had saved her people twice. She found on the observation deck, looking out at the stars. The human woman held a cup of something hot and steaming. "May I join you?" Lyra asked. Smiled, she was more careful about showing teeth now, keeping her lips closed. "Of course, Would you like some tea? It's from Earth. What is tea? A hot drink made from plant leaves. Humans have been drinking it for thousands of years. It's comforting. Lyra accepted a cup. The liquid was bitter but pleasant. She sat down carefully on a chair that felt too large and heavy for her light body. Captain told me you've been traveling in space for 6 months, Lyra said. Don't you miss your home? Gazed out at the stars. Sometimes, but space is beautiful in its own way. Earth prepared us for this. Our ancestors explored every part of our world from the deepest oceans to the highest mountains. Space is just another frontier. Your people are natural explorers. We're curious and restless. Earth taught us that staying still meant dying. There were always new challenges, new dangers. We had to keep moving, keep adapting. That drive is still in us. Lyra thought about her own world. Had been the same for millions of years. Gentle, stable, safe. Her people had never needed to change. Tell me about Earth, she asked. I've read the classification, but I want to hear it from someone who lived there. Settled back in her chair, what do you want to know? Everything. What makes it so dangerous? Laugh softly. How much time do you have? Earth has so many ways to kill you. Let me start with the obvious: gravity. Our world pulls us down with constant force. Just standing up is exercise. On Earth couldn't even walk. The gravity would crush your bones. Lyra shuddered. That sounds horrible. It made us strong. Our muscles, our bones, our hearts, everything is built to fight that constant pull. Then there's the weather, storms that can tear apart buildings, winds fast enough to throw vehicles, lightning that strikes with millions of volts, tornadoes, hurricanes, blizzards that can freeze you solid in minutes. And people still live there. Billions of us. We learned to build shelters, to predict weather patterns, to survive. What about predators? The database said Earth has many dangerous animals. His expression grew serious. Hundreds of species that could kill a human. We're not the biggest or the strongest or the fastest. We survived by being smart, using tools, working together. But yes, there are predators. Big cats that can crush your skull with one bite. Bears that can tear you apart. Snakes with venom that stops your heart. Crocodiles, sharks. So many things that wanted to eat us. How did you become the dominant species? Persistence. Humans can run for hours. Most predators can only sprint. We'd chase prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. We'd track wounded animals for days. We never gave up. And we learned to make weapons, spears, bows, traps. We turned our intelligence into power. Lyra tried to imagine it. A world so hostile that intelligence itself became a survival tool. It sounds like every day was a battle to live. Not every day, but yes, life was hard, still is in many places, and there's more. Diseases, tiny organisms that invade your body and make you sick. Some can kill you in days. Before modern medicine, half of human children died before age 5. That's horrible. Lyra felt tears form in her eyes. Half, how could you bear it? We didn't have a choice. We adapted. We developed immune systems that fight constantly. We learned to make medicine. But yes, it was horrible. Humans know loss. Every one of us has lost someone to disease or accident or age. It's part of being human. I'm so sorry. Shook her head. Don't be. Our hard world made us who we are. It taught us to value life because we know how fragile it is. It taught us to help each other because alone we die. It taught us to be strong because weakness meant extinction. Lyra sipped her tea, thinking, is that why you're all so protective? Why you risked yourselves for us? Partly, humans have a strong instinct to protect the vulnerable. On Earth, we evolved in groups, tribes, communities. We took care of our young, our old, our sick. Anyone who couldn't protect themselves, we protected for them. That instinct extended beyond our own species. We domesticated animals, protected them, cared for them. Even wild animals, many humans dedicate their lives to protecting creatures that could never help them in return. That's beautiful. It's who we are. They sat in comfortable silence for a while. Then Lyra asked, "What about the fighting, the violence? You were so efficient against the pirates." His face darkened. "That's the other side of humanity. Yes, we can be violent. We evolved as hunters and warriors. For most of our history, we fought each other. Terrible wars. Millions dead. We nearly destroyed ourselves several times. What changed? We learned slowly, painfully. We realized that cooperation was better than conflict, that we accomplished more together than apart. We still have conflicts, but we try to solve them with words instead of weapons, most of the time. But you can still fight when needed. Yes, we haven't forgotten how. We can't forget. Our instincts are still there. The capacity for violence is still in us. But now we try to use it only for protection, only when there's no other choice. Like protecting us. Exactly. Those pirates threatened innocent lives. Talking wouldn't stop them, so we fought. We're not proud of the violence, but we're proud we used it to save your people. Lyra understood better now. Humans were contradictions, gentle and violent, protective and dangerous, kind and deadly. Their harsh world had made them complex in ways her simple world never could. Later, Lyra found in the engine room. He was always working, always tinkering with something. Right now he was modifying some of his tools. "You never stop, do you?" Lyra asked. Grinned, "Engineer's habit. If something works, make it work better. If it's broken, fix it. If it doesn't exist yet, build it." Is that a human trait? Definitely. We've always been tool makers. Our hands evolved to grip and manipulate objects. Our brains evolved to understand mechanical systems. Put those together and you get a species that can't stop building things. Your engineering is different from ours, Lyra observed. Your systems have so many backup systems. Redundancy, you called it. Because things fail. On Earth, they fail all the time. A machine that breaks when one part fails is a bad machine. We build assuming failure. Multiple power sources, multiple controls, multiple ways to accomplish the same task. That way, when something breaks, and it will break, the system keeps working. It seems pessimistic. Laughed. Realistic. Hope for the best, plan for the worst. That's the human way. Your engineering is elegant and efficient, but it's fragile. One failure nearly killed everyone on your ship. You're right, Lyra admitted. We never thought about failure because things rarely fail on. Lucky you. On Earth, everything fails eventually. Gravity wears things down. Weather corrodes metal. Temperature changes crack materials. We learn to build tough and think ahead. It makes sense now. Your ship, your equipment, even your bodies, everything is built to survive failure. Exactly. Held up the tool he'd been modifying. See this? It's a standard fusion wrench. But I've modified it to work in vacuum, extreme heat, extreme cold, high radiation, and it has a backup power cell. Because I never know what conditions I'll need to work in. Lyra watched him work. His hands were calloused, marked by years of working with dangerous equipment. But they moved with precision and care. You love this, she said. The challenge, the problem solving. Humans thrive on challenges. We get bored without problems to solve. It's why we explore space. It's why we help people like you. Your distress call wasn't just a cry for help. It was a problem that needed solving. And humans can't resist a good problem. That evening, Lyra visited in the medical bay. The human doctor was organizing supplies and reviewing medical data from the patients she'd treated. How are my people doing? Lyra asked. Good, everyone's recovered from the oxygen deprivation. A few minor injuries from the pirate attack, but nothing serious. Are delicate, but your bodies heal quickly. Thank you for taking care of them. You were so gentle. Smiled, that's my job. I became a doctor because I wanted to help people, to heal, not hurt. But you also fought the pirates. I saw the footage. You defended the injured with such fierceness. I did what I had to do. His voice was firm. I'm a healer first, but I'm also human. When someone threatens my patients, I protect them, with violence if necessary. How do you balance both, the healer and the warrior? Thought about this. They're not opposites. They're the same instinct, caring for life. Sometimes you care for life by healing wounds. Sometimes you care for life by stopping those who would create wounds. Both come from the same place, the desire to protect and preserve life. I never thought of it that way. Humans have always been both, warriors and healers, destroyers and builders. We contain both because we needed both to survive. The key is knowing when to use which side. Lyra looked at its hands, strong enough to break bones, gentle enough to set them. You scare me sometimes, she admitted. All of you do. You're so powerful, so dangerous. But then you're also kind and caring. I don't understand how you can be both. Because we have to be, said simply. Our world demanded strength, so we became strong. But strength without compassion is just cruelty. We learned that being truly strong means using your power to protect the weak, not exploit them. That's what separates humans from monsters. 3 days after the rescue, both ships approached the station. Captain stood on his bridge with Lyra beside him. Your people are safe now, he said. We'll make sure you dock properly, then we'll continue our journey. Thank you, Lyra said. For everything, you saved us twice. We did what anyone should do. No, Lyra said firmly. You did what only humans could do. Your species is special, Captain, dangerous, yes, but also heroic. I'm going to make sure the Galactic Council knows what you did here. Looked uncomfortable. That's not necessary. It is. The galaxy needs to know about humanity. Not just that you're strong, but that you're good. That when we called for help, you answered. That's worth more than all the weapons in space. As Pride prepared to depart, Lyra watched it go. She finally understood these. They were shaped by struggle, forged by hardship, and made dangerous by necessity. But they were also heroes, and the galaxy was about to meet them. The news traveled fast through galactic space. Within days, every species with communication technology had heard the story. The ship, the human rescuers, the defeated pirates. The tale spread from station to station, planet to planet, growing with each telling. Captain tried to ignore the attention. His crew had simply done their job, but Lyra had been true to her word. She had contacted everyone who would listen, telling them about humanity and what they had done. 2 weeks after the rescue, Pride received an unusual message. It came directly from the Galactic Council headquarters. This is Council Representative Mara, the message said. The being on the screen had blue skin and 4 arms. Her voice was formal and careful. We request the presence of Captain and his crew at the Central Council Station. We wish to discuss humanity's actions in the rescue incident. Looked worried. That doesn't sound friendly. Are we in trouble? Probably, said. We fought pirates in their territory. We used violence. The Council might see that as a problem. We saved lives. We also scared people. Half the galaxy is talking about dangerous humans from a death world. The Council wants to know if we're a threat. Crossed his arms. Let them ask. We did the right thing. I agree. Set course for the Central Council Station. Let's go explain ourselves. The journey took a week. During that time, received dozens of messages. Some were from Grateful, thanking them for the rescue. Others were from various species expressing concern or fear about humans. A few were from species asking for help with their own problems. One message came from Lyra herself. Captain, I will be at the council hearing. I'm speaking on your behalf. They owe you everything. I won't let them condemn you for saving us. When Pride arrived at the Central Council Station, it was the biggest structure had ever seen. A massive station that could hold millions of beings, representing hundreds of species from across the galaxy. They were escorted to a grand chamber. The council chamber was enormous, with seats rising in circles around a central floor. Hundreds of representatives from different species watched as and his crew walked to the center. Representative Mora stood at a tall podium. "Captain of Earth, you and your crew are here to answer questions about the incident involving the vessel Soft Breeze. The Council has concerns about humanity's role in this event." "I understand," said. His voice was calm but firm. "We're ready to answer any questions." Another representative stood. This one looked like a bird with golden feathers. "Captain, our records show that humans come from what we classify as a death world, Class 12, one of the most dangerous planetary environments in known space. Is this correct?" "Yes, Earth is a harsh world. We evolved there." "And in the incident with the pirates, your crew of 3 defeated 30 armed raiders in hand-to-hand combat." "We defended ourselves in the—" "Yes." A murmur went through the chamber, species speaking to each other in dozens of languages. The bird representative continued. "Captain, many species here are concerned. You come from a violent world. You are natural warriors. You defeated trained pirates with ease. How do we know you are not a threat to the peaceful species of this galaxy?" Before could answer, Lyra stood up from the visitors section. "May I speak?" Mora nodded. "Captain Lyra of the people, you may address the council." Lyra walked to the center floor. She stood beside her small frame looking tiny next to his. "I was there. I saw everything, and I want the council to hear the truth." She turned to face all the representatives. "When our ship was dying, we sent a distress call. We sent it on all frequencies to anyone who could hear. Do you know how many ships responded? 1. Only 1. The humans answered. The nearest station was 14 hours away. We had 6 hours of oxygen. We would have died. But Captain and his crew changed their course. They came to us even though they didn't know us, even though we couldn't pay them, even though there might be danger." Lyra's voice grew stronger. "Yes, humans are strong. Yes, they can fight. But do you know what they did with that strength? They fixed our engines in 30 minutes. They saved our elderly and children. They treated us with gentleness and care. When pirates came, they didn't run. They didn't let us die. They stood between us and death." She looked directly at the council. "You ask if humans are dangerous. Yes, they are, but only to those who threaten the innocent. You fear them because you are fragile, but that's exactly why they came, because we needed someone who isn't." Another representative stood. This one had green skin and spoke in a hissing voice. "Beautiful words, Captain Lyra, but violence is violence. The Galactic Council has maintained peace for 1,000 years by rejecting aggressive species. We avoid conflict." "You avoid conflict because you can," said quietly. "You all come from safe worlds, gentle worlds. You've never had to fight to survive. That's wonderful. But it also means you can't protect yourselves when real threats appear. The Crimson Fleet has been terrorizing this sector for years. What has the Council done?" Silence. The representative looked uncomfortable. Continued. "I'm not criticizing. You're peaceful because your worlds let you be peaceful, but Earth didn't give us that choice. We had to fight or die. We learned violence because we had to. But we also learned something else. We learned that strength should protect the weak, not prey on them." Stepped forward. "The galaxy is big. There are dangers out here. Pirates, hostile species, natural disasters. You need people who can handle those dangers. That's what humans can do. We're not asking to rule anyone. We're offering to help." A small, furry representative spoke up. "But how do we trust you? You could turn on us at any time." Answered this one. "Trust is earned, not given. We understand that, but look at what we did. We had every reason to leave thee and save ourselves. We didn't. We could have demanded payment before helping. We didn't. We could have abandoned them when pirates arrived. We didn't. Our actions speak louder than promises." Added, "Besides, if we wanted to conquer or hurt people, we could have done it already. We're not here for power. We're here because space is full of people who need help, and we can provide it." Mora raised one of her 4 hands. Let me ask you directly, Captain. What does humanity want from the Galactic Council? Thought carefully before answering. Recognition. We want to be part of the galactic community. We want to trade, to learn, to make friends, but we also want to help. There are other ships out there sending distress calls, other species in danger. We want to answer those calls. Why? What do you gain? The satisfaction of helping people. That's all. On Earth, we have a concept called paying it forward. You help others not because they helped you, but because someday they might help someone else. We build a better world, a better galaxy by helping each other. Mara looked at the other council members. They spoke quietly among themselves for several minutes. Finally, she turned back to. The council has made a decision. Humanity will be granted probationary membership in the Galactic Council. You will have trade rights and diplomatic recognition. Additionally, we are creating a new position, Guardian of the Outer Rim. This role will be responsible for rescue operations and protection of civilian vessels in dangerous sectors. We are offering this position to you, Captain, and to any other human crews who wish to volunteer. Was stunned. You want us to be official rescue and protection. The Council recognizes that we lack the ability to help in dangerous situations. We are too fragile, too slow, too weak, but you are not. You are uniquely suited for this work. Will you accept? Looked at his crew, was smiling, was nodding, and both looked eager. They had all joined the space service for adventure and purpose. This would give them both. We accept, said. We'll help protect those who need it. There is one condition, Mora added. You must report to the Council. You must follow galactic laws. And you must never use your strength to dominate or harm innocent beings. We agree. Those are the same rules we follow anyway. The chamber erupted in discussion. Some representatives looked relieved, others still looked worried, but the decision was made. Lyra approached as the formal session ended. You did it. Humanity is part of the galaxy now. Thanks to you, you spoke up for us. I spoke the truth. You saved my people. It's the least I could do. She paused. Will you really take this guardian position? It's dangerous work. It's what we're good at, and it's needed. Someone has to help the ships that send distress calls. Then I have something for you. Lyra handed him a data chip. These are the locations of several distress beacons we've detected in the past few months. Ships lost or damaged in dangerous sectors. No one could reach them, but maybe you can. Took the chip. Each location represented people in danger, people who needed help. We'll check everyone. Over the next few weeks, other human ships arrived at the Council station. They had heard about the Guardian position. They wanted to help too. Soon there were 20 human vessels signed up, ready to patrol the dangerous sectors and respond to emergencies. Received messages from all over the galaxy, species asking for help, stations requesting human security, companies wanting to hire human escorts for valuable cargo. Humanity's reputation had changed from scary unknowns to helpful protectors. One evening, stood on the observation deck of Pride with his crew. They were preparing for their first official Guardian mission. It's strange, said. A few weeks ago, we were just a cargo ship. Now we're representatives of our entire species. We're still just a cargo ship, corrected. We just happen to help people too. Smiled, I like this, it feels right, using our abilities for good. Nodded, finally something worth doing. Was already checking the ship systems. First distress beacon is 2 days away, a research vessel with engine failure. No pirates this time, just mechanical problems. Should be simple. Simple is good, said. Not everything needs to be a dramatic rescue. But as he looked out at the stars, knew there would be more dramatic rescues, more dangers, more challenges. The galaxy was big and full of problems, but that was okay. Humans were good at handling problems. The communication console beeped. Another distress call. A mining colony under attack by space debris from a comet. They needed help clearing the debris before it hit their habitat domes. Looked at his crew, ready. They all nodded. Then let's go, someone needs help. Pride turned toward the new distress signal and accelerated into the dark. Behind them, the Galactic Council station grew smaller. Ahead, somewhere in the vast space, people were afraid and in danger. But help was coming, they were coming. And they never left anyone behind. Lyra watched from her quarters on the Council station as the human ship departed. She thought about the day her ship had sent that desperate signal into space. They hadn't known what would answer. They never imagined it would be warriors from a death world. But the galaxy was learning what they had learned. Humans were dangerous, yes, but they were dangerous in the best possible way. They were dangerous to threats, to evil, to those who hurt the innocent. They were exactly what the galaxy needed. As more distress calls came in, more human ships answered. They spread across the dangerous sectors, bringing help to those who thought no help would come. They asked for no reward beyond the satisfaction of saving lives. The humans had a saying Lyra had learned: we leave no one behind. It wasn't just words, it was a promise that anyone in danger, anyone afraid, anyone who sent a call for help into the void would receive an answer. They would respond, and the galaxy would never be the same.